We had quite a week in college football. Alabama versus Auburn. Let's start off with a fantastic Iron Bowl.
Fantastic, maybe, as the football game goes. But did Alabama impress anyone?
Yes.
Auburn? What was Auburn? I think they were a 6-5 team.
They were.
Alabama barely eked out that win. They should not have won that game.
That showed so much about Alabama. They were down 10-3, minute left, ball on their own 2-yard line, no timeouts.
But you know what that
and
really...
then the defense held with 2 minutes left.
But you know what that really says?
What does that say?
In 59 minutes against a 6-5 team, they can score 3 points. I'm worried about that. I normally root for Alabama. I like a historical team that might, set records for most championships in their history. All that is great. But do they look like they can compete with Georgia? I don't think so right now.
Mm-hmm.
They're having trouble with relatively mediocre teams. And I was kind of disappointed in Bryce Young, too, frankly. I thought this was his worst game. He ended up...
He was under 50% completion percentage, 25 for 51.
Yeah, he ended up with, a reasonable amount of yards and so forth. You added in the overtimes and all. But this was not up to his standards of prior games. Mm-hmm. He was not pinpoint. He had a lot of issues.
Good defense, though.
That defense put pressure. They pressured him.
Mm-hmm.
I was impressed with Auburn.
Yeah.
I didn't think Auburn was that good.
No.
So it was a beast of a game.
So college football playoff rankings come out tomorrow. We're gonna give our guesses. I'll start it off.
But before we do, can you not comment on Michigan?
We'll do. Okay, let's go with Michigan first.
Win.
Haskins 5 TDs, Hutchinson 3 sacks.
That win, Michigan didn't squeak out a win there.
Uh-huh.
They were dominant.
No, they were. And do you recall, you said Harbaugh sucks. You said Harbaugh sucks.
Harbaugh saved his Michigan career. I really think if he lost that game, he was gone. Winning that game now, this shows you how crazy...
They rushed the field. That thing, the big house was going bananas.
Yeah, but it shows you how crazy the whole sports world is. I really think he could have been gone with the loss. Now I think he's got good job security. One win over Ohio State, they're so rare. One win, all of a sudden, he's golden again.
Yep.
But I really think Michigan played their hearts out. I think that was a very impressive win.
Mm-hmm. Gutsy.
I think, the poll has them number 2 right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they're really the second best team in the country, but no one could watch that game.
CFP, not the college football rankings.
No, I'm talking, AP poll.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So they showed character, they willed that win. Because look at what Ohio State had been doing to everybody. They really dominated a team that was totally dominating going into that. Ohio State looked like the team that could deal with Georgia if anybody could, off of their the last 6 or 7 games.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, very impressive for Michigan.
Yeah.
Saved a career in Harbaugh.
I mean, McNamara, is that...
And it wasn't the only impressive game.
No.
I liked Oklahoma State's win.
We both picked Oklahoma State in that one.
That was a good pick. That was a good pick. And if
Rodriguez.
Boy, what a leader.
11 or 12 tackles.
Yes, he was impressive. But what was most impressive in that game, Williams had a big first half for Oklahoma. Big.
Yeah.
I think 200 plus yards in the half.
Yeah.
They shut him down. He had 48 yards in the second half. He was 6 for 18 in the second half. That defense clamped down, basically didn't allow it. The offense scored 0 points in the second half. Their only scores, the safety and the fumble recovery.
I have to say this. If Oklahoma State goes on to win against Baylor, if they go on to win that game, okay. I bet if Cincinnati's in a close game with Houston, I bet they put Oklahoma State over Cincinnati. Cincinnati needs a blowout.
Well, what you're not factoring in.
Is
What
Alabama.
happens when Alabama loses to Georgia next weekend?
You think they're going to lose?
Well, I'm not saying that. We're not yet at the day
No.
where we're making that prediction.
But let's.
I'm just saying if they do, then there's room for Cincinnati and Oklahoma State if they jump Oklahoma State over Alabama, which could happen.
Now, okay, we're going to give you all a couple of scenarios here. Okay, right now, Alabama is number 3 in the poll, in the AP poll, right?
I think so.
Yeah, there. Now, well, you have to. Okay, if Alabama.
Are you sure they're not number 4?
loses- if-
I think they might be number 4.
Excuse me. Are you sure?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Say Alabama loses to Georgia. Say Oklahoma State loses to Baylor. Then Alabama's back in.
I would say Alabama and Cincinnati are in.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to be talking about this all week.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go on.
Let's go on. Now we're going to shift our eyes to the NFL Week 11 recap. We're sorry we had technical difficulties on Saturday. Couldn't put out a broadcast. We're sorry to those fans out there. Really too bad.
And it was a good broadcast,
It was.
too.
All right. Week 11. Let's start off. Let's go. We're going to start off with a 13-28 loss for the LA Chargers.
Oh, those Chargers suck. They're back to their old ways. We got the bad Herbert. You knew we were either going to get the great Herbert or the bad Herbert. We got the bad Herbert. 2 picks. I know one wasn't his fault, but it's still 2 picks.
He actually, both of them weren't his fault.
Well, debatable, but...
Oh, one of them actually was. My
Yes,
fault.
yes.
fault.
But he was not... There is such a difference when Herbert is on, when he's just on fire. That team is charged versus yesterday. They're not good. They're talented. They're very talented.
Here's
They're just not good.
Next year is you came into this year with all this confidence for the Chargers. Now they're 6
No.
and 5. No. Listen. Let me finish. They're
Hopes,
6
baby,
and
hopes.
5 right now.
Hopes and dreams.
They're 6 and 5 right now. What you have to consider is how bad they were last year, and how many heartbreaks there were. Now, 6 and 5. This team looks like I bet they'll get better next year as well. And I think they're going to turn into a Super Bowl team.
The trouble with the Chargers, it's the same kind of thing they've had before.
Well, not really.
They can't pull it together. You know,
Yeah.
I hate to talk badly about this coach because it's coach after coach after
Staley,
coach.
yeah.
But look at the difference between...
Should have got Robert Saleh.
But look at what's happening with them versus what's happening with the Patriots. Now, I admit, Patriots, we're talking about an extreme, probably the best coach in the history of the NFL. But still, what a good coach does in terms of getting the team ready, pulling the people together, making the best of each player, getting them to fit together, getting them to play together, eliminating stupid errors. When does that happen with the Chargers? Maybe 5 games a year. Then there are 5 games that are ridiculously bad. Mm-hmm. It's very hard to be a Chargers fan, I think.
They're right on that wild number 7 spot in the wild card. They need a win against Cincinnati.
This should not have been that hard of a game. Okay. Denver is not that good a team.
All right, we got to move on to our next game now.
Okay.
We got to recap Pats versus Titans.
Again, opposite.
Mm-hmm.
Opposite of the Chargers. The Titans, they started to show the cracks in the dam kind of last week. And, they may still win their division because they've got such a bad division. They've got such a big lead. But that team isn't going anywhere. The Pats, on the other hand, this was not a great game for the Pats. Oh. They played better. But even when it's not your best game, the coaches made things happen. Mm-hmm. Mac Jones had a good, solid game. Mm-hmm. Like he's done every week. Mm-hmm. Herbert, you've got to say Herbert's a more talented quarterback than Mac Jones. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
I think we'd all agree on that. Who looks like the better quarterback right now?
Mac Jones.
By how much?
A lot.
A lot. I think that's Belichick. And is it McDaniels?
Mm-hmm.
The combo of the people on that staff, they just make it easy for their players to perform at their best.
Yeah, for sure.
Why isn't that happening with the Chargers?
Yeah, let's go to our next team, though. Let's go with Baltimore versus the Browns. Baltimore. It's not looking good for the Ravens. I know they squeaked out a win, but...
They're winning. That's what's amazing. They're winning. Do you realize this is the first team to win a game when their quarterback threw 4 picks in 5 years? 5 years.
I get it. They stink.
Lamar throws 4 picks, and the Browns are so hopeless. They still can't win the game.
This is a bad game.
They get 4 picks.
No, but
they can only get 10 points in the whole game.
This is a bad game for both teams. First of all, the Browns
lost. I agree.
It's a worst case scenario in this game for both teams.
It's like you're the best loser.
It's exactly.
Yes.
There's really nothing good about this game came of it for the Ravens other than a win.
If they play if the Browns play offense like this, I don't see how they can win another game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care who they're playing. Jags, Lions. I bet the Lions could beat them. What do you think?
I doubt it. But
they stink.
They do. They're terrible. Honestly,
and if Baker Mayfield is hurt, don't have him play.
Baker sucks.
No, but every
Baker
time
sucks.
He's playing.
He scores 13 points. He doesn't do anything. This kid cannot ball. This kid cannot do anything, is my point.
But he keeps playing up.
Picks.
He's playing up the fact that he's playing.
Do you know what his completion percentage is? Just no good. There's nothing good about this man.
What I don't see is if he's really injured, don't play him.
Mm-hmm.
Play someone else.
Yeah.
Don't play him. But he limps around like he's the hero man out there playing injured, and he can't play.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
What's next?
All right, we're going to go with our last recapper. Raiders versus Boys, the Cowboys.
Well, the Boys are another disappointing team.
Boy.
The Boys, everybody always overrates the Cowboys. We did too. I think there were several weeks I had them the leading candidate for the Super Bowl.
So did I.
But they always get overrated. Everybody's like a star on the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
So we all start believing until they show us on the field,
we're
still the Cowboys.
America's team, we're like fail America's team.
They're still probably going to make the playoffs, but they've lost 3 or 4 now.
Sucks.
They don't look good on offense. They don't look good on defense. They don't look good on special teams. I want to
go to that division, though. How the NFC least is truly the least. They're just such a...
Well, yeah. I mean, the Eagles, if they could do anything, they would be now breathing down the Cowboys' neck. But, of course, they can't because they stink, too. The whole league, they're really... it's kind of like quarterbacks. Whenever you start analyzing quarterbacks, there's probably really 8 or 10 legitimate guys. And then the rest of it really should be backups, but another 20 teams have to start somebody.
Yeah, all right. Well, that was our last game of recap. Now we're going to the NBA. Suns versus Warriors.
We never even talked.
All right, we'll talk one more game. We'll talk a couple more games. My fault. All right, we're going to go with Bucks Colts.
Now, that was also a challenging game, but it was a great game to watch. You have to admit that.
No, sure.
A great game. You kind of feel bad for the Colts, really. The Colts probably
run the damn ball.
That's the question mark. Why
did
they all of us? They were trying to run. The Bucks were stopping him dead. He had very few yards in the first half, but then rather than blend in the pass, they stopped running.
I know.
They ran 27 straight pass plays.
He didn't run the ball in the third quarter. That last time they got a touchdown, It went to the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
The last time they got a touchdown in that game to get to 30, it was 24-31, I believe. And they
Yeah, they went from a 10-point lead to down 7. So a 17-point.
You gotta run the ball.
A 17-point.
Run the damn football.
Well, especially when you have the number 1
running back
rusher in the whole NFL.
JT?
It's crazy.
All right.
I'm not saying they should have run it all the time, but don't give up on the run. It's just kind of like the Titans. Henry oftentimes didn't get a whole lot in the first half. He gradually wore him down.
They clearly don't have any sense. Frank Wright doesn't have any sense of what to do.
I really think Frank Wright is a good coach, but I don't understand what he did here. Now, there were some great highlights in this game.
Out there.
There were Winfield's pick. That was an amazing play.
You just love Winfield.
I do like Winfield.
You know, he also gave up a touchdown.
I know, but he made up for it on the... Would you not say that pick was amazing?
Yeah, but it was a terrible play by Pittman, who also sucks.
Well, he should have done more with it, but don't take something away from Winfield. That was an amazing pick for those of you that didn't see it. Also, how big a game did Fournette have? How important was he?
4 touchdowns, 100 yards, 131 total yards,
he was
100
amazing.
on the ground, 31 through the
air. As much as he was amazing, Gronk. They're a different team without. They're going nowhere if Gronk can't stay healthy. I hope they kind of rest him for a few games now. What do they have left? Is it 7 or 6? Something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, they need to rest that guy because they could potentially win the Super Bowl again.
Oh yeah.
But there's no way it's going to happen if they don't have Gronk. Not just Gronk in the lineup, but he's got to be able to do the Gronk things. He had 7 catches for 123. They wouldn't have been close in that game without Gronk. Mm-hmm. Whenever Brady feels, pressure and he needs something, he goes to Gronk.
We gotta go to our next game.
Okay.
Our last game officially. We won't go to any more games. Pack versus Rams.
That was an important game. Mm-hmm. It really showed who is boss.
Rams suck.
Who is boss in the NFC?
No, Rams don't suck. I'd say the Stafford needs to form something with OBJ, and they also need to run the ball.
Well, do you know
Stafford
has thrown a pick 6 in 3 straight games.
No, but Henderson is not getting enough yards.
The Rams traded their future to get Stafford.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't even have the best quarterback in that game. Clearly, Aaron Rodgers is a better quarterback than Stafford. Mm-hmm. They traded so much of their future to get Stafford, and then they did it again to get Von Miller and again to get OBJ. Yeah. They've gone all in. If they don't win this year, and it doesn't look to me like they have a chance to win this year.
No, it doesn't.
They don't. They might not even make the playoffs.
No, they will.
But I believe they will too, but they might not. What have they lost?
2 in a row.
Yeah, 2 in a row, but I think they've lost 2
in a row.
3 out of 4 or something?
Yeah.
Anyway, they don't look like they're a Super Bowl contender. Uh-huh. Even if they make the playoffs. They could easily go out in the first in the wild card round.
The Pack.
But if they don't win this year,
go.
I don't see how they can be better next year.
A-Rod though.
They're getting nothing out of the draft.
No, but Aaron Rodgers is such a dynamic quarterback, and honestly, he moves so well for what is he now? 37, 38 years old?
Yeah, no, he's amazing for his age.
It's incredible. But all right.
Now, of course, he's just a kid compared to Tommy Reed.
Okay, we're going on to the NBA.
There's some exciting things happening in the NBA.
Tomorrow at 7 o'clock Pacific, 10 o'clock Eastern time, we have Suns versus Warriors.
And you know what's even better? We've got them twice in the same week.
I know, we have Friday. On Friday, also Suns versus Warriors.
So how are you
on TNT.
The Warriors have gotten a lot of hype.
No, they have.
They went from nothing to
No, but now the Suns are getting a ton of hype.
No, I know, but in 2 weeks, nobody thought the Warriors were going to do anything this year. All of a sudden, everybody's picking the Warriors to win the whole thing. But what slipped under the radar is basically the Suns have almost the exact same record as the Warriors.
17-3?
And 18-2 or something? Mm. What? It's
no,
like
Warriors
one game different.
Warriors 18-2,
so
Suns 17-3.
It basically, they have the same record. They even have a little of the same style of play going. They're both now, neither one was thought to be a good defensive team just a short while ago. They're two of the best.
The Warriors were a good defense last year.
Well, certainly not at the top
No,
of the
no,
NBA.
yeah.
Now they're two of the best defenses. They're playing the best defense in the whole NBA, pretty much.
GPD.
They were always thought of offensive firepower type team, but they're playing great D. The interesting thing in this matchup, the D may be what determines who wins more than the offense.
Yeah.
You know, it isn't really so much anymore. Does Steph go off for 45? Does he, make 9 out of 14 threes? It's his D is amazing. He had 6 steals in the last game. 7?
Yeah.
I know it's a big
7.
number. And he's playing tough. He was going one-on-one with Paul George.
Yeah, I know.
I think he's 6'8".
It's one of the
235 or something.
Honestly, it's one of the things that makes him look like an MVP.
No, yes, I agree with you. Steph doesn't look like Steph used to look, though.
No.
He's bulked up.
Oh, yeah.
He looks like
those big guns.
He really does look like he's put on a lot of muscle. So he doesn't get pushed around the same way, but he also, he always had this offensive, he has his continuous motion, he had quick release on his shot. He's got all these offensive skills and also understanding. He knows like where to be, what to do,
where to go,
the passing. He's now got the same thing going on D. He anticipates very well. He doesn't get pushed. He used to be the guy that had to kind of hide on defense. That's no longer the case. It's going to be very interesting.
So who are you taking?
Well, the first of the 2 games is in Phoenix. The second one
is in Golden State. But
is in
who are you taking the first one?
My brain tells me it's going to be a split. The 2 games. I've got a big rooting interest on the Warriors side. I'm going for a sweep.
Going Warriors, sweet. I'm going Warriors too.
On both games?
Both games.
But don't you really think it's more logical to pick a split?
No. I'm going with the Warriors.
Okay, well I'm going.
I think they're picking. I think they'll win the first game. Then the home game it's just so much easier to get momentum at home, and they're great at home. They're great everywhere.
Yeah. I really think that both teams, it's going to have a little more, I think, college atmosphere. I think both teams are pumped. The Warriors have done a lot of winning, but those last 2 years, and especially last year, I think lit the fire to a huge degree, and they want this bad, really bad this year. The Suns want it equally bad because they haven't won. They got a little taste last year and they couldn't deliver. They really want to get back. And now each team knows they're playing the other team with virtually the best record in the league. This game, I think, both games, I think, are going to be fever pitch, but really, especially the first one, tomorrow night. It's going to be exciting.
All right, so we're both taking the Warriors, and okay, let's talk last subject of the day. Top 5 has come out for NCAA basketball, and what did I tell you out there? UCLA staying top 5. Number 5.
I give it to you. You picked that one well. What number is Gonzaga right now?
3.
That's wrong. I know people believe in Purdue. Purdue should not be ranked ahead of Gonzaga. So I totally disagree with that.
Oh, well.
It's ridiculous when you have a close game that could easily have gone
all
either
your
way.
picks for the rankings have been wrong, and all my picks actually have been right. I said Purdue number 2, I said Zags number 3, I said Duke number 1, I said UCLA number 5.
There you go.
The only one I didn't.
No, you didn't say Duke number 1 because
I did.
This was before the game was played, and you thought Gonzaga was going to win. Anyway, we'll see. I still think by far the best 2 teams in the NCAA right now are Gonzaga and Duke. And I don't know which order that really belongs. I think it's a toss-up.
Okay. Well, UCLA is going to come back. Okay? They're going back to the top 4. They're going to be a number 1 seed in the tournament.
Maybe. I don't know. I'll tell you who doesn't look like the number 1 seed is Kansas.
Kansas loses to a 2-3, now 3-3 Dayton on a last-second heroic shot
Yeah, that was great.
One of the best shots I've ever seen.
It's
That was
gonna be
a very entertaining.
It'll be a
game.
fun year. There's no question. It's going to be a very fun year.
Baylor number 4, Purdue number 2, Duke number 1, Zags number 3, UCLA number 5.
We will see.
We shall see.
Oh, there's a big game tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you talk about that game?
No, we haven't discussed. But all right, we can't talk about it right now. We got to wrap up the show. We're out of time. Thank you for watching Sports Right Now. We're saying so long from our studios. Goodbye from Sports Right Now. Right now.